This meeting to order. Please rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the home of the brave.
Ivy, would you please do the roll call?
Director Barnes,
Here.
Director Potts,
Here.
Vice President Pushton,
Here.
President Klein Jerome,
Here.
Director Hayes,
Here.
Director Beck, here, Director Yankee,
Here. Thank you. Director Yankee, would you please read the mission and vision statement?
Mission statement: the Davenport Community School District is dedicated to growing excellence in academics, the arts, and athletics for every child by ensuring the highest quality education in an environment shaped by our diverse community, preparing our students to be lifelong learners and productive citizens.
Also the vision statement, please.
Vision, sorry. Trying to get my computer to turn on. Vision statement: education that challenges conventional thinking, prepares all students to compete in a global society, and inspire our students, parents, staff, and community to answer the question, what if?
Thank you. Director Potts, would you please read the guiding principles?
Guiding principles. Opportunity. We provide abundant opportunities to empower students to reach their full potential academically, creatively, and socially. Collaboration. We foster an environment that allows students, families, and community stakeholders to come together for the betterment of our students' education and future. Transparency. We share relevant and important information with our students, families, and the community to maintain open and productive communication.
Thank you. Superintendent Schneckloff, would you please read the goal?
Tonight we'll be focused on goal number 4, enhanced facilities and
Thank you.
finances for our district. There's some very exciting news and a special guest coming up next.
So we're putting it in now.
Sure.
Okay. So we are making a slight adjustment. Student board members, I'll get back to you after this. I'm going to turn it over to Kevin.
If you recall, the last couple months we've been preparing our instructional support levy and our bond sale. This morning we had our opening of our bids, and Suzanne Gerlach from PFM Financial is going to kind of give you the rundown and the good and the really good news that we have to present for a resolution that we're asking you to pass tonight.
Thank you. It is my good pleasure to share results, the good news and the very good news. We went to market, opened bids at 10 a.m. this morning. At 10 a.m., we had 14 bidders signed up. And of the 14 bidders signed up, 12 actually submitted a bid today. Our goal for a competitive sale is to receive at least 3 bids. And so to get 12 bids in today's market was fantastic news. That led to, I would say, cost savings for the district and a very competitive environment. We use Parity Internet Bid System, which is a reverse auction site. Bidders can submit a bid and see if they're winning or not, but they don't know by how much. And they have until the 10 a.m. deadline to resubmit, to try to get to the top and win the bonds from the district today. We had 14 bidders signed up, 12 bids received from 59 different banks represented in those 12 bids. We use the true interest cost as an APR percent to say what the best deal was that we got today. And in municipal bonds, as you can see, each annual principal payment has its own coupon yield and dollar price. And the TIC is sort of an aggregated APR of all of those 20 years of future bond payments, and also includes the cost that the underwriters proposed in their own selling, their underwriters discount, their commission to sell the bonds to their customers. And so on a TIC basis, the winning bid was 3.688%. to the 12th place bid being 3.779%. So less than 0.1% different between the first place and the second place. And every 0.01% is $67,000 of interest savings for the district. So, 2 years ago in 2024, when we sold bonds, I told Kevin my goal was to hopefully beat that rate, and we beat it by 1 basis point today, by 0.01%. So that just makes us look really smart up here for deciding to go to the market twice for all of the different projects that we had in the CIP and deliver under the cost of the initial round as well. The winning bid came from Jeffries LLC out of New York, New York. They bid 3.6881%. We call the the first place runner-up, right? The runner-up to the beauty pageant. We call that the cover bid received from Piper Sandler out of Minneapolis, Minnesota at 3.72%. So they were 0.04% behind the winning bidder today. And whenever we see those numbers, every basis point between them is just savings for the district. Very exciting pricing today, only 35 basis points or 0.35% over the AAA scale, which is the highest credit rating scale that we mark everything off of. And so there was insurance purchased by the bidder. So that means the underwriter buys the insurance and you receive pricing as if you were a AA rated when you're an A+ rating. And that's the other thing I should mention. S&P did affirm the district's A+ credit rating. So congratulations. That is, I would say, the average credit rating for the save bonds. And so that's I would say the top-notch credit rating we could have gotten there. And the last bit of good news, based on the pricing today, PFM always structures the bonds in a way where if we do get a premium in the market today, we can keep that, and it's in the plan of finance. It's affordable. We know we've kind of got it baked in there. And so we were able to put an extra $7,457,000 of bond proceeds in the project fund at the same or less cost than what we had planned for. So that's exciting news, which means more projects for the district and its students. So I'm very pleased with the results, and I would recommend that the board award the 2026 bonds to Jeffries LLC out of New York, New York at a TIC of 3.6881%. And I'm happy to entertain any questions anyone may have.
Anybody? I know, it's like, whoa.
Congratulations. Very successful sale today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It is exciting to watch. Nothing's coming through. All of a sudden 12 of them pop up. And apparently I'm easily entertained, but I did. Yeah. On the agenda, this comes up under items requiring action, so keep it there. Yeah,
Okay,
so we
that's
will
fine.
be voting on it later.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Thank you for making the trip down, and thank you for everything you've done for us.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Oh, you too, Kevin.
Suzanne drove all the way from Des Moines to do that presentation for us. And she has worked tirelessly for the district to get that across the finish line. And I don't know if you remember in our long range facility meetings 5 years ago, 4 years ago, wherever it was, the forecasting that she did in that meeting is almost spot on to what is occurring today. And so it's very refreshing to be around professionals that really put everything all in to help districts get to maximize their facilities. And so, Suzanne, on behalf of the Davenport schools, thank you so much for your hard work. We are going to stretch every single penny of that to do what's best for kids. So thank you so much, and thank you for driving her. Her husband's waiting in the car,
He could have come in.
so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, student board reports.
Hi, my name is Carlin Peterson. I'm a representative at Central. And I wrote everything on my hand. Why didn't I write on my phone? I don't know. First off, I'm going to start off with our winter guard. Over the weekend, went to a competition in Earlham, Iowa, and we won first place, which was really awesome. We haven't won first place at a winter guard competition in like 5 or 6 years, so that's pretty cool. I'm really proud of my group. Our show choir went on a tour to Sudlow and Eisenhower last week. It was really awesome to like see how the kids took it. My little sister personally came home and said, I'm going to do show choir next year because she's going to be a freshman next year. Then we also have a few state-bound athletes, and I lost the tab that I had the name of the athletes. So good job, guys. Huh? Is it wrestling? Wrestling and bowling. Me neither. Brogan Gansher. Good job. Then today, the Blue Devil student leaders and the school board representatives met with some district leadership, and we talked about just kind of high school career readiness, as well as like new forms of education and how like the future's shaping things. And I also forgot the name of that, and I forgot the name of everyone who was there, and I'm really sorry, but I see some of you in this room, so just know I see you. But that's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Eden. I'm a representative from Davenport West. I just wanted to congratulate the West High Jazz Band on 2 great performances this past Friday. Awarded Outstanding Soloists at the UNI Tall Corn Competition were Alex Oates, Danny Woodfork, Mason Juris, and Lily Napper. So if you would like to see them tonight, they have a concert at 7 p.m. right after this.
My name is Lucy from West. So we have a student at West who has been dealing with heart failure at Iowa Children's Hospital for the past month now. Just recently, Buffalo Elementary, which is where she went to elementary, their student council got together and sold Valentine's grams and raised over $500, which they then donated to Lila and her family. So I thought that was really cool that the schools were coming together.
Thank you. And show choir down at the Adler's coming up soon. Do you know a date?
It happened on Saturday.
No,
The
no.
night one?
It's the
What?
night one.
Show choir show off. Oh, I have no idea. I thought you were talking about the one that happened at the Adler, the Great River, because that happened on Saturday.
Yeah, no, there's another one where the Adler get together. March 9th. Thank you. Get those dates. We like to attend. Thank you very much. Presentation. I will turn it over to the superintendent.
Thank you. John Mahan and Josh Romansky and Kevin Poscani are going to kind of walk us through a very important phase of our phase one construction. As you remember, part of our phase one renovation to north is where we were going to move forward some of the projects at Davenport North outside of our bond funding. And we're kind of want to bring that forward today in terms of discussing our CTE space and our YMCA space and timeline and how we plan on reorganizing that at North. Also, a sneak peek at our first run at what a preschool would look like in the first floor of JB Young. And so tonight is the first presentation of that, so we can begin to put that in a normal cadence so we can move that forward for our own planning and purposes, so we can begin to see the orders come through. The information that we got from Suzanne today makes this a heck of a lot easier to plan for, because it just kind of assists us with our finances. So John, thank you so much for being here. And I know Josh and Kevin will jump in at any time. So thank you, John.
Thanks for having me. And isn't it funny how Suzanne tells you how you have money and I tell you how to spend it? So we're going to cover a little bit of work at North High School first and then the preschool second. So North High School, one of the things is continued renovations to hit those spaces that weren't able to get captured in the phase one project. So we are talking about shuffling some things around so that we can better right size some of the spaces for programming that's needed in the building. This will improve the quality and size of space for our CTE programming. It has been compressed for a really long time. It'll also provide some accessible spaces for some of our activities and other programming in the building. So if you look from the Google helicopter view, the whole map of the campus is on the screen. The pieces in the sort of the teal green color are what we're talking about. So I'm going to zoom in to the top part of the screen, which is where our CTE programming lives. Currently, we have a large weight fitness room that was added into this space several years ago, forcing Woods and Metals to occupy the space that we're showing for Metals. By one of the moves that I'm going to show you on the next slide, by moving the weight fitness center, we can reallocate space for that career and technical training programming that's on the north end of the building. So we would have a right-sized Woods shop, a right-sized Metals shop, allowing the placement of all the tools, machines, equipment that's needed, as well as the classroom huddle space that they would utilize, and then dealing with dust collection and mechanicals that are needed for both of those spaces. What you see across the back is a small zone that would be a moderately conditioned space. Think of it as a glorified garage. There's a lot of shipment of materials, wood products, metal products that come through. This gives us a spot where we can pull the delivery in, drop off those materials, not have them burdening the classroom space, and then that vehicle can leave. The other thing is when we do things like a shed build, it can happen out here where we have the height and the space where we can not only build it, but then we can get it out to where the end location will be. So it's solving a problem for some of the programming that happens in CTE. Over on the east side of this pod is an area that would be set up for our engineering coursework. So it is currently a space that is one conjoined room, one big ceiling across here. We would divide it into two separate spaces. And the way we like to think of it is clean lab, dirty lab. The bottom part is the clean lab. You'd have your computer stations sitting on desks with a teaching zone, nice little glass roll-up door, a couple of walk doors, and you move into the dirty lab where we have the cord reels that pull down. There is some plumbing in there, a sink on the wall. We can do any of those activities. If you want to work on an air conditioning unit, work on building a robot, that's the kind of space that facilitates that activity and better supports some of the programming that needs to happen at North High School. One point of note, the current classroom that computers fit into, they get about a 2-foot zone of space. It's not sufficiently sized. So this actually solves a major problem, just like the shop spaces. If we jump over to the other end of the building, this is one of the big moves that we've talked about for several years with the master planning of the building. So we have a zone right up in the front that is perfectly set up for weight fitness. So the weight equipment moves into this zone. There's just some minor updates that need to happen to accept that equipment. Just there's a little stage in there. They use some technology to help with their lifting and training programs, so making sure the room is set for that. Wrestling. You're seeing a layout of space for wrestling. It's currently on the second floor in a space that was never really supposed to be used for that. It's inaccessible, meaning if anybody has a disability, they can't get there, nor is it appropriately sized for everything that needs to happen. So this allows for a 2-mat space. You're seeing a single full-size circle, a series of practice circles, and then the lighter color at the end is that spot where you have cubbies and exercise bikes and tackling dummies. So it's that spot where you do the things that are not on the mats. These mats would be in this space. We have competition mats that get pulled out for the meets, so those stay in place. These allow that practice, and we're not having to carry mats across the building. The gym, Josh's team is already working on how this might be accomplished, but the gym currently has 2 courts that run cross courts. They're small. They're not full-size courts. If we rotate the court to the north-south orientation, we can get a junior high size court, as well as 2 sections of bleachers in there. Maybe we get somewhere in the range of about 300 seats. And then this would allow you to use it not only as an auxiliary gym, but if there's JV or downgrade games, you can play those here where that court size is not going to cause a problem. So that really solves some of the scheduling issues that happen in the building. There's a spot in the northeast corner that is currently a couple of racquetball courts. This would be opened up into a single space for our dance cheer program. So if anybody knows, dance cheer tends to get lumped in with some other sports spaces, and they ended up getting booted out and sometimes end up having to use spaces like the cafeteria. Now we have a spot with the right kind of floor. It's the right size space. That space then could also serve as a large motor activity space if needed. So we just need to wall it off. It's quite open. We'd have a door and a roll-up door to allow us to get some equipment in and out if needed, and having the right kind of space for what we need. There is a classroom in this end of the building that stays as is. It just allows us to start over time programming some additional things close to this end of the programming. There are a series of offices already here. The AD office suite would move to this end of the building. What's in gray, we're considering that down the road, if the need arises and economy is right, we could continue to change programming in the gray zone. Nothing we need to do now. What is important to know is there's a series of locker rooms there. There is a turf field that sits directly south. So the sports that use the turf field for their practice and some of their competition would move to the locker rooms here. Now it's a direct line out the door to that field. So you have less waste of time for moving through the building, and it's a little bit easier for that oversight with the AD being there. The AD's office suite then has oversight of who comes in and out of this portion of the building. Keep in mind there's 2 doors, kind of where my cursor is moving to. Those are doors being put in the current project. They allow you to securitize this so that if activities are running at this end of the building, you don't go anywhere else in the rest of the facility. If something's happening in the Performing Arts Center, you can lock this off so that people don't wander around in this part of the building. So it really helps solve that problem. And then the last piece on this is there is a need to update cabling and do some network integration that needs to happen because the network system here doesn't support the cameras, the security, the door access, and the network. So there will be a little bit of work to get that integrated so that it fully functions with the rest of the campus.
So, hey, John, this is Josh. Interrupting one thing. I wanted to mention while we're doing this conversation around this area is a lot of these projects will be broken into smaller projects. So we're not hiring a general contractor to do all of these things. But we might hire a contractor to do the floor, to do the gym for us. And we may hire a contractor to do some HVAC work. And we might hire another contractor to do work on the wrestling room and put something there. So Joe Reagan will be running those projects. So I just want you guys to be aware. A lot of times we put out a project for bid and it's one big project and one bid big. It's going to look funny like we're doing small individual projects, but we kind of are, because we want our person to take care of managing it and timing it all out and sequencing it when we can with school and everything like that. So.
And the other thing is the CTE staff has done a fantastic job of laying out their spaces. So they know exactly what goes where and what it needs, which is a really great asset. I'm going to jump forward. So, wasn't that long ago, we had a meeting where we had a group of committee members from our facility master plan committee come provide some recommendations to the board for a potential pathway for preschool. So if you recall, we had a bunch of meetings through the fall semester. They considered a series of potential opportunities for how we might be able to solve preschool in the district. At the end of that, they presented a sort of a mishmash of two potential scenarios. They said, we like the benefits of either of these. We'd like you to consider maybe some way where you could merge them together. We'd be happy if that was the solution. So that sets into motion that the long-range master planning committee and district leadership had to work together to start coming up with solutions based on that FMPC recommendation. So we have been looking at potential moves that could be made, and the one that I'm going to talk to you about is establishing a what would be a children's village at this facility. We are also looking at some other opportunities, but this is the first one that we're excited to talk about. This would enable us to also move from Madison over to this facility, given the proximity. But the really big goal here is being able to accommodate something north of 200 students in a single facility. So on the east side of Davenport, that matches what we can already do at the CV West facility. So what would it take to put a preschool here? Well, we'd have to make some changes. We would look at on the north side of this facility, putting playground space, and we've talked about 2 playgrounds. It would have we call it a trike track that surrounds that, but it's a kind of a fun activity space for the little ones. Surround that by a fence. We have a couple of drainage swales that need to maintain. We need to maintain, so those stay in place. We think we can fit this on the site appropriately. It covers the need for what preschool would want to have. Nice thing is up here on Locust with that traffic, you get really good visibility of the activity and the excitement of what could be happening with the district. So just that awareness of who you are and what you do is untapped potential.
You'd be the best advertising for preschool going along Locust Street if you look out there and see the kids riding tricycles around a track and having a blast in the middle of the city.
We also know on Monday nights, board members would be having trike races before board meetings. The south part of the site, we do have a kind of an old playground that lives there. We would want to incorporate that as part of our parking. We are looking at some larger opportunities for additional expansion of parking here on this campus. But the one big thing is this northeast lot on the campus we would reserve for that parent drop-off pickup. The parents do drive their car into a parking stall and walk their child into the building. So making sure that that could happen on this northeast corner. This entry that comes in to the east side, that would become the main entrance for preschool. And then the main entry that we all come in for most of our meetings and events here would still exist as a main entry for the building itself. So if we looked at the first floor plan of the building, and I'm going to apologize, the plan rotates 90 degrees from what you just saw on the Google map. This is the main building entry. You'd have the entry into the main lobby. The elevator sits here. We'd have our security office here. And our museum all exists right off the main entry. So that entry for preschool would be this piece down here. So you'd have a main entry in, take over one of these classrooms and turn that into our administrative office for our preschool programming. With the number of rooms that exist on this floor, first floor, we would be able to get approximately 12 classrooms for preschool in here. We do have to do some work to get some bathrooms distributed. It works much better for preschool programming if they have access to a bathroom within the classroom. And then what we do is distribute some additional plumbing fixtures around so that you have coverage for staff bathrooms. That way staff's not moving too far from the little kiddos in the building. But now with that number of classrooms, I think we're somewhere in the range of about 210 to 220 students that we could service for preschool in this building on the first floor. Our gym stays as a gym. That's a large motor activity space, and then also can get used for other activities when preschool is not in session. And we will work on updating the technology and the HVAC and the electrical for the needs of the preschool on this floor while we are working on this space. So we also have just a couple of quick next steps. The FMPC spring session is in full force. We've had 2 meetings with the large committee. We're in the process of having focus group meetings right now, and we are continuing to explore additional solutions that came out of that FMPC recommendation last fall. So we will be able to come forward with some additional recommendations based on that programming. I will roll this back and see if there's any questions.
Dr. Barnes?
John, thank you very much. This is very helpful. My first question is related to North and the relocation of all of the weight room facilities. Does that have any impact on physical education classes that we're going from the west part of the building now all the way to the east part of the building, or do students no longer dress out in any way? Does that have any impact?
It will change the way that the staff has to plan. With the addition of space, they're going to have more availability of the gym that is referenced, potentially the dance room as a multi-purpose space. So it will take some different coordination on their part. To answer the second part of your question, dressing out is not as required as it once was, so that is not as much of a concern.
So the passing time will be sufficient, and really the eastern part of the building will become kind of the locus of attention for physical education at this point?
Correct. Knowing that we can still use the existing gym.
Part of that is why it's imperative to have a classroom down at that end to service some of that programming those students participate in.
Yeah, my other question is related to the preschool and this building. This is pretty heavy traffic building because of the all of the professional development that is hosted here. You can drive by here on occasion in the middle of the day, and every single parking space is filled. I'm thinking about the outdoor activity spaces and how we ensure student safety moving from this building to the planned playgrounds. What's the thought there? Because right now it's wide open space, and I can't imagine that even with the desired view from Locust that we're going to want to have wide open space for that.
So part of it is the dumpsters need to move to a different location. First and foremost, get that traffic away from the walk path. There is a connective path where those little ones can move between playground and building. It already is a not paved path, so you do not get through traffic through there. If we reserve this parking for preschool activity, then it requires that we have a solution for parking, which is something we're in the process of solving. We think there's an opportunity that will provide more than ample parking for those needs that you're talking about.
Thank you.
And that area will be fenced in. And we are working on a strategy to enhance the pickup, drop off, and parking.
Any other board member? Director Beck.
Along those lines, sorry, just to, well, I have two questions to clarify. The pathway that's being recommended, or well, there's two that are being recommended, that having this as a central location is included in both, correct?
Yeah, so the hybrid option consisted of 3 centers, one north, one east, one west. So this gives us that east solution, and then some of what we're exploring is rounding out the remainder of what that recommendation consisted of.
Okay, and then to follow up or clarify a little bit more on the proposed play area. So the dumpsters would presumably get moved to the other side of the building, probably near the generator and that kind of thing. And that walkway would be fenced off as well, so that basically you could not walk from the east side to the west side of the building without going all the way around the preschool facility play area, correct?
That's likely the safest, and the other thing that will do is there's a fair amount of local foot traffic that moves through, which will kind of redirect some of that as well. So you won't get a lot of the just regular pedestrian traffic crossing through.
And then that actually leads into my other question in terms of safety. Most preschools have their playgrounds either with a very high fence if they're in a high traffic area, or sort of in an area where people don't typically walk or can't get to easily. And they don't have to be very big, the playgrounds, but are we anticipating, has there been any kind of like survey done to help mitigate some of that potential issue? I mean, a lot of people walk around here and cut through this campus.
Yep. So that is all part of the continued work that would happen as you generate the final plan for construction. And then the other thing is the one benefit of this campus is you got a lot of occupied offices that face north. So there's a lot of additional eyes on the activity space there, which also rounds out the other opportunity, which is providing a little bit more chance for some of your admin staff to have interaction with those little ones while they're on campus.
All right, thank you.
Any other? Director Hayes.
John, I had a couple questions for you. With the congestion with the traffic now, where did you say the additional or parking would be?
So that's a strategy that we're working on. Okay. And we'll be bringing it to the board in the near future.
Okay, thank you. Another thing, with this area, I have come by here on Saturdays and seen tons of people here. Where will take the food pantry?
So right now we are working with our community partners to help find an alternate location, but we have given them plenty of lead time. We've already alerted them of an exit time. And so I believe that there are enough areas in this central location with our churches, our church groups, our community foundations, our community resources to where there would be a potential hub.
Student board members.
I really do like the JB Young plan. Again, like I do share those concerns about the playground just being kind of out in the open. My elementary playground was at the top of a hill surrounded by like the school, so it was very like secure. We did have like weird people who wanted to climb up the hill to talk to the anyways, I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop. But anyways, moral of the story. I also think that this would be a good idea because I don't know for sure, but the like advanced foods, do they still come to this building?
Pro
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. That's what, yeah. It would be a good opportunity too for those students who are interested in like child development and that kind of stuff to come in and help with the preschool, and kind of learn what that's all about. We do have a lot of people interested, like our FCCLA are interested in that, and but that's just also a really good opportunity for like the central students specifically, but also since it's at kind of a central location, like it's a good opportunity for all students to explore that career path.
Absolutely. That's great feedback.
Hi, so I participate in the ECE CTE class. So I was curious, would we keep a location at CVW and then have this location too? From that diagram, I didn't look like we had enough room for like play-based therapy and stuff like that and our SLPs. So there's just a lot more that goes into that. So I was just curious on that too.
I think right now there wouldn't be a change to the programming that you're participating in. That would stay in its current arrangement. However, that is something that will be part of our longer term discussion.
Okay, thank you.
Lucy, got anything? Nope. Okay. Anybody else? I have two questions. When is the cafeteria at North High going to be done?
Cafeteria is slated to be done at the end of summer, so in August, so that you can take it over for the start of the 26-27 school year.
So when would this work on the?
This will there's a good chunk of this work that will start this summer as well.
Okay. And then since we got money now, how soon can you start on JB?
We'll work on it as fast as we can.
But I mean, between,
So
drawings and all of
yeah, the goal here is that it would be ready to go for the start of the 27-28 school year. There's a considerable amount of work that gets done, so we would want to have this bid out and have the work start so that it's sequenced to wrap up construction and begin occupancy around August of 27.
Okay. Thank you. I think we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
John, your homework is to find a 15-foot tall fence that you can see very clearly through.
A glass case.
Okay, next up, board reports. Anybody? Director Poston.
Last week, I was able to visit Fillmore and Adams on coaching visits. Also got to meet the Amplify representative. Amplify is the company that sold some of the curriculum to us. And I was very much pleased with what was taking place as far as following the curriculum, the coaching that takes place, and just the hard work that teachers are putting into this to adapt this new curriculum. Just one side note, not related to curriculum, Josh. I noticed in some of the rooms there's paint peeling on some of the ceilings. I think that probably occurred when before the new roof was put on. So when you have a chance, could you check that out, please? Also, test. Also, last Saturday, I attended a legislative forum. I was able to talk to Representative Vondran, Kaufman, and Moore, and Senator Gruenhagen, and discussion taking place on all the legislation that's affecting education at the state. That's it.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Next up is open forum. Open forum is a time for members of the community to give input at a board meeting regarding school district issues or concerns. Individuals who want to speak, please fill out an open forum request and give it to the board secretary to open forum. The form is available in hard copy for in-person attendees or on the school board page of the district's webpage for those who want to participate virtually. Virtual participation must email their request to, this is new, blizzards@davenportschools.org. Stacy Blizzard. The board will not act on any issue presented during open forum if it was not published as an agenda item. Iowa Open Meetings law prohibits action on any issue that is not on the agenda. The president may set the amount of time allowed for individuals to speak, which is 2 minutes. The board asks that no charges or complaints be made against individual employees of the district or community. Remarks that reflect negatively on the character or motives of any person will be called out of order. You will be asked to state your name and home address prior to making remarks. Please note that board meetings are recorded and the recordings are available online. To participate virtually, call 1-312-626-6799 and enter meeting ID 971-2991-1543, passcode 814537. And we do have a couple. First up is Heather Geist. If you would come to the podium, push the button, the green light will come on, state your name and address.
Perfect. Hello, my name is Heather Geist. I live at 8705 145th Street, Bluegrass, Iowa, 52726. I am a farm wife, mom of 3 school-aged children, 1 at Bluegrass Elementary and 2 at Walcott. I'm also a pastor at Faith Lutheran Church in Eldridge for the past 15 years. I'm a strong supporter of public education. I do believe that strong schools build strong communities. And I'm grateful to the school board for all the time that you give to this community and keeping our students safe and strong. I know it's a lot of work and a lot of time and dedication, and I'm grateful. I am here because of an incident that happened last Wednesday on the 18th in a lunchroom at Walcott Middle School. My daughter called me right after school to say that her friend was assaulted. She was in distress because of the situation. And because I am a friend as well as a pastor to this family, I was brought into the situation in a different level. I most closely responded to the situation after 8:30 p.m. And I was with the family until 6:30 a.m. that morning. I traveled with the mom and daughter to Iowa City because they had been recommended by the ER in Bettendorf to go to Iowa City for further neurological specialty team, as well as the CT and the MRI. This was a highly stressful situation to be brought into as a mom and pastor. And I'm concerned about the safety of our students, and I'm wondering what we can do to prevent these things from happening. There we go.
Thank you. Okay, that was Heather's. Christy Hurt, is that right? Please state your name and address.
My name is Christy Hurt. My address is 6179 134th Street, Bluegrass, Iowa, 52726. I am also here in regards to the incident that happened at Walcott last Wednesday. My daughter is a close friend as well as neighbor to this family. She was also very distressed to witness this incident, and also has a history with the same child that assaulted our neighbor. Approximately a month ago, my daughter was also threatened and bullied by this girl. She missed a couple of days of school due to fear and anxiety. It is known by several of the students and faculty at Walcott that this individual has tendencies for violent outbursts, making threats. This was by far the most serious incident, and I wanted to address the board about it because the concern is that the behavior is escalating, and we want to make sure that something is done to intervene and protect our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Joan DeMoss. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joan DeMoss. Address 6215 134th Street, Bluegrass, 52726. And forgive me. On Wednesday of last week, the 18th, my daughter was assaulted at school. It had started with a food fight that escalated. That one student, that a male, was at a table. The person that assaulted my daughter was throwing food. He asked her to stop. He said, "Quit being rude." More food was thrown. Then he said, well, my daughter had a piece thrown at her, threw it away, and this made this person escalate, put her hair up, kick her shoes off, come over and start after my daughter. And apparently one of the staff thought that this young man who got between my daughter and the person that was assaulting her, he thought that this kid was fighting with the girl that was going to assault. So he pushed the boy away, which gave space for that girl to get around the teacher and shove my daughter to the floor. My daughter hit her head against the stairwell. She has a cochlear implant, which was hundreds of thousands of dollars. She's had 2 surgeries for that. It has affected her hearing because she can't wear her cochlear device on the outside of her head right now. We're hoping that in the next few weeks before our March 5th audiology appointment, that swelling has gone down and her device will fit again. If not, she's going to have another surgery to remove the inside device on her head so that the outside will fit again. I never thought in a million years that my child would be so unsafe in one of our schools. She's scared to go to school. I hope somebody can do something about it.
Thank you. Next up, we have the consent agenda. May I have a motion?
Madam President, I move that the board accept the consent agenda as written.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Are there any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Nay, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, we have committee reports. Breaking barriers.
None at this time.
Legislative advocacy.
As I mentioned earlier, I had the opportunity to visit with some of our legislators, and on Wednesday we will be going up to Des Moines.
Local School Advisory Committee,
We have not met.
Long Range Facility Planning,
We just had a presentation that covers it.
Policy, not yet. Recognition, not yet. Finance,
We met last week and reviewed the ISL calendar. We reviewed the bond sale calendar, reviewed the bond summary report, and looked at 5-year projection, which will be presented to the board on March 23rd. And Kevin will be going over the January monthly report and the key measures report.
you're up, Kevin.
Okay, we'll start with the monthly report, please. This will be brief. There's a lot more important things on the agenda coming, but we're 7 months in, a couple short months, but really, I highlighted the revenues for the last 2 fiscal years. We finally have 2 normal fiscal years that look alike without ESSER funds, and it's very close to a dead heat of the revenue we received from one year to the next. And then if you scroll down just a little bit more, you can see on our expenditures, we have pretty much the exact same thing. It's kind of a boring report this month, but it shows you that we're fiscally watching our revenue and our expenditures, and we'll keep an eye on those, but we're doing okay for the month. I highlighted the sales tax. You can see we're just slightly less as far as dollars received to dollars spent. That's really good considering we're continuing to move dollars into our bond debt service fund to pay for our bonds. So being at that point is solid for us at this point in time. If you go to page 2 on that, I just wanted to highlight the other funds on the expenditure. This is the debt capital projects funds that we've been talking about, where we're going to put that second now $87 million. I anticipated $80 million, but $87 million. And you can see on the bottom of that page that we're down to $19 million. We've already spent some of that in the month of February. Right there, we are about $10.9 million from having the first issuance of those 2024 bonds spent. So the timing of what we're going to ask you to act on is pretty much spot on, so we can continue with the projects we already have in place and be able to pick up a few of these other projects along the way with the second issuance of these bonds. This is where you're going to see that money flow into. So you're going to see a huge increase at the end of March when we receive the funds. Any questions on the monthly report? On the other report for our key measures, you'll see there that we are still right about a little over 18% for our UAB. It's flattening out to about where we want it to be. We're very close to that 7 to 17% target. We've had it come up, and now we're maintaining it, and you'll see that by the 99.5%. That's really, really close to the 100%, what we call the leveling of our spending. You can see how that's starting to even out. We kind of had a yo-yo effect the past 5 years when we're trying to come back from a negative balance, and you can see it's starting to flatten out. And if you scroll down just a little bit more on this first page, you'll see that we're sitting at a little over 17% of our solvency. That's right where we want to be in that 7 to 17. I would love it to be higher, but 17% is absolutely fine in my book, but you know I'm very conservative with that. So 17% is a perfect spot to be in at this point in time. Any questions on key measures?
It's not a question, but for those of us who have been on here when the numbers didn't look so good, I mean, if you look at that UAB, the solvency, we've done a lot of work. Kevin, TJ have done a lot of work to get us here. I always wanted the others numbers there, but this is good.
Look at 2021, it was 4%. Guess what 2020 was? It wasn't positive.
Yeah.
So we've come a very long ways, and it takes a while to turn. It's like turning a cruise ship in a small harbor. You can't do it overnight. and we're there. The important thing is that you sustain it and have some leveling of, and that's what you're going to start to see here. Yes, we're going to have some struggles when it comes to solvency as the state does certain things, but we'll work our way through that and try and make sure we maintain that.
Madam President, I've got a quick question. This is actually the first report, Kevin. What will this new issuance mean to our debt service? Does it essentially double debt
Yes.
service?
Yes. We predicted between $12 and $13 million a year that we'd have to be moving from sales tax funds into our debt service.
Okay. And just remind me, where is that debt service figure represented in the charts you shared with us?
If you see where the other Fund 30 is, right
Yep.
to the right of that where it says debt service,
Okay.
you'll see that that's where we'll transfer the funds in. That'll come in the revenue on the top. And then when we make the payments, we'll do a semi-annual interest and annual principal payment. And you'll see that come through in the expenditure.
And
The
it'll essentially double.
Yeah. Ironic thing is you won't see that 1.791 million on the other objects. That's our first half of interest payments. So you won't see the actual debt payment till the end of June because it's June 1st when that's due. So it kind of floats along with not a lot of activity until you get to the end of the year, other than this one amount.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet.
Anybody else? Okay, moving on. Thank you. Items requiring action. Naming of the stage at Central High School Performing Arts Center for Pat Zamora. Could I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Potts.
I move that the stage in Central High School Performing Arts Center be named the Pat Zamora Stage.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? Director Beck?
I don't have a question. I just want to say that I didn't know Pat Zamora, but I have been hearing about Pat since this first time I joined the board, which was about 8.5 years ago now. And being able to read through some of the letters and the highlights, I mean, this is a person who really dedicated themselves to the district. And that was after being a teacher and not being on the staff in the district anymore. And so the fact that she was also one of the drivers of getting the Performing Arts Center built, I think this is just a wonderful way to honor her. And I look forward to seeing the plaque in place or whatever way we decide to put the name up. And I hope it's very prominent, but it is very well deserved. And thank you to her family for being here.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing none. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, approximately 81,050,000 school infrastructure sales, service and use and tax revenue bonds, Series 2026.
Madam President.
Director Beck.
I move. Do I have to read the whole thing?
Is it the resolution?
Yeah. Okay. I move the board approve the following resolution. Resolution directing the sale of $81,050,000 school infrastructure sales, services, and use tax revenue bonds, Series 2026. Bonds are to be awarded to Jeffries LLC of New York, New York, for a purchase price of $87,730,720.27, a net interest cost of $36,694,539.19, and true interest cost of 3.688122%.
Second.
Director Beck. Director Hayes seconded it. This takes a roll call vote. Director Barnes.
My vote is yes.
Director Beck.
Yes.
Director Hayes.
Yes.
Director Poston.
Yes.
Director Potts.
Yes.
Director Yonke.
Yes.
And my vote is yes. Motion carries. Next up is the calendar. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board approve the 26-27 school year academic calendar for on 2/9/26. The 26-27 academic calendar is presented at the meeting. Okay, the board approved the calendar basically for 26-27 school year.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Director Beck.
I just wanted to know, I know graduation isn't listed on here yet, I believe. Do we have to wait on exactly when that day is, or do we know already?
Yeah, as soon as we have the date, we will make sure that we amend the calendar and get that to both the board and all of our stakeholders.
Okay. Can I ask a favor or make a suggestion that you put like a stripe or something or bold the word? It's hard to see where graduation is because it's on a weekend, so it doesn't get a colorful box. So just for those of us who just glance, thank you.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Oh, sorry.
Aye.
Hold on a minute.
Sorry, this is a question. It's not going to affect your decision at all, I hope. Do seniors get out like a week early for the high school? Yeah. Is that on the calendar? No. I feel like it should be on the calendar because I don't know when I get out of school.
That's
So-
okay. We're going to keep you in until the end, so. Okay. Once they know when it is, they'll let you know.
There will be more information coming from your building principal on that. We always have to, there's always a pause because, and it's not a firm date. We don't know what the weather will do to us ever, which causes us to put the brakes on that.
So pray there's no snow days, is what he's saying. Yeah. Okay. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
We voted on that twice.
Next up is the award the Central Tennis Courts. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Hayes.
I move the board award the Central High Tennis Courts resurface project to the lowest responsive bidder, Minturn Inc., in the amount of $140,500.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? I just have one. Where is this company from? Not that that matters, but I've never heard of them.
I cannot think of the name of the town, but it is a small town in Iowa.
Oh, okay. Lucy.
Will this affect the boys tennis? Because they'll still be in the fall, and I know sometimes we go into like late May, mid-May for tennis when we were in the fall. Or, sorry, spring, I meant. I know they're still in the spring.
We are trying our best to coordinate that.
Okay,
as
perfect.
we speak.
Sounds good.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Purchase of laptops and I got two things. May I have a motion, please?
Madam President,
Director Potts.
I move the board approve the purchase of laptops and peripherals from CDWG in the amount of $460,035.
Second.
It's been moved by Director Potts and seconded by Director Hayes. Are there any questions? My question is this enough? Because it's going to take us a long time to get all this stuff. Are we planning far enough ahead?
Yeah, we would order these things maybe a little bit closer to the summer months as a summer project, but we've kind of pressed, brought these things forward due to that very reason. All the computer chips, memory, all of those things are now have increased in lead times as well as the expense that's going up. Some vendors aren't even able to honor the quotes that they give us as it changes by the time they ship things out. So we're doing everything we can to get these
Tim,
things.
Well, and I hate to order too much and then it already becomes out of date, but I also want us to have what we need.
Yeah. On top of that, we've got so much other summer work as well that there were some of these things we'd love to be able to get to before summer.
Mhm.
So it's kind of a win-win in that case.
I think the other concept is Tim's department does a 10% on hand due to damages, lost, or new people coming in. We might have an overlap. Let's take this computer, re-image it. And so they do typically have a 10% on hand availability. So there's a buffer that his department typically has. Is that still pretty accurate?
Correct. Yes.
So I think that
The cushion that we need.
anything over that, I think you're potentially buying materials that will be outdated too fast, unfortunately.
Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, technology emergency order. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board approve the purchase of network switches, wireless access points, and UPS uninterruptible power supply units from Aircore Inc. in the amount of $1,010,017.30.
Second.
It's been moved by Director Beck and seconded by Director Hayes. Are there any questions? Director Beck.
Just for the benefit of the public, can you explain why this is listed as an emergency order?
Sure. So I believe it was late January. Our Air Corps rep had visited on site, and knowing that we were going to need these things for the upcoming projects, the lead times for most of these items are going to be 9 months out, which puts us right about just over the time when we're expecting Sudlow. And just like the other components, they're all increasing in cost as well. So we're in that kind of wait and see. They can't promise us anything. We do have contingency plans in place if we don't get them in time. But anything that's related to technology right now seems to be pretty difficult to get in.
Any others? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, appoint a board secretary.
Madam Chair.
Wait, before we do this, superintendent would like to speak, and then Director Fox.
Well, first of all, I'd like to welcome Stacy Blizzard to the DCSD school team again. We were blown away during the interview process. She did a fantastic job. And again, like I said at the start of the meeting, just yet another person that Bruce Potts has brought into the district and hired for us first. And so Stacy has immense experience at the building as a building secretary. She's very calm. This job has thrown a lot at her in the first week or so, and she has done a fantastic job acclimating, jumped all in, and we're very proud to have you a part of our team, Stacy. So welcome to DCSD. Also, Ivy has really done an excellent job stepping up, training, and I think they're going to be a wonderful team. So Ivy, thank you so much for your help during this very difficult time. So Stacy, thank you, Madam President.
Okay, now apparently I have to read this whole policy. 206.03 Secretary. A board secretary may be appointed from employees other than a position requiring a teaching certificate or from the public. To finalize the appointment, the board secretary will take the oath of office during the meeting at which the individual was appointed or no later than 10 days thereafter. It is the responsibility of the board secretary as custodian of school district records to preserve and maintain the records and documents pertaining to the business of the board, to keep complete minutes of special and regular board meetings, including closed sessions, to keep a record of the results of regular and special elections, to sign warrants drawn on the school funds after board approval, and collect data on truant students. The board secretary may designate an individual or individuals to assist with responding to and processing requests for records of the district. The board secretary, in conjunction with the superintendent, will also be responsible for filing the required reports with the Iowa Department of Education. In the event the board secretary is unable to fulfill the responsibilities set out by the board and the law, superintendent's administrative assistant will assume those duties until the board secretary is able to resume the responsibility or a new board secretary is appointed. The board secretary will give bond or be covered by an insurance policy in an amount set by the board. The cost of the bond or insurance policy will be paid by the school district. Now, Director Poston. Oh, Director Potts. That
I move the board appoint Stacy Blizzard as the board secretary.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Just want me to read it to you and repeat it? Okay. Okay, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that you will faithfully and impartially, to the best of your ability, discharge the duties of the office of Board Secretary in Davenport Community School District as now and hereafter required by law?
I do.
Thank you. Congratulations. And I also want to say thank you to Ivy, who's gotten us through this last 3 months. Annual purchase of Chromebooks. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Potts.
I move the board approve the purchase of FY27 Chromebooks from CDWG in the amount of $1,410,500.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Director Potts and seconded by Director Barnes. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Frontline student analytics. May I have a motion?
Madam Chair,
Director Poston.
move the board approve the purchase of Frontline Student Analytics for the 1-year quote to Frontline Education for $58,370.
Could I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Director Poston and seconded by Director Beck. Are there any questions? Director Beck.
Just to clarify, how is this related to the Tableau program that you guys or software that you guys use, right?
This replaces
This will replace it, and so this has all the functionalities that we didn't have with that.
and more.
Okay, and it integrates okay with parent portal and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Awesome.
Campus. Yep.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Receipt and filing of recommendation regarding termination of employment contracts. May I have a motion?
Madam President,
Director Beck.
I move the board to receive and file the superintendent's recommendation to terminate a continuing employment contract.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Questions? Director Potts?
What is this we're voting on?
So this is the first step in the process. We'll have a sealed envelope that's given to the board president, to where if this human being would like to have a hearing, it's opened at that date and we schedule that hearing. So this is a step in the
Gotcha.
process that you have received that.
It's for a statutory process.
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up, Fillmore Playground. I think this would be a Josh.
This would be a Josh. We have part of our long range facility master planning conversations. We noticed something that probably should be taken care of right away. we have a district-wide program at Fillmore, and we need a more accessible playground. So Josh has been doing some investigating, and that's why this one is coming to us maybe a little bit out of cadence, but we thought it would be necessary. So Josh,
You covered a big chunk of that, but yeah, I mean we have a lot of playgrounds at Fillmore, or playgrounds that are in decent shape, but we realized what we have there is not as inclusive as we'd like it to be. So, I think some staff were at the school and they saw some issues with kids being able to play with friends and things like that. We have a high need issue right in that building, so we thought, why not? We have some funds available. Why not go fix the issue and put a playground there next to the other ones where the kids can play together?
So is it just kind of an add-on to what they currently have?
Yes.
Okay, in the same vicinity.
Yep.
Okay.
And the new ones, when we put new ones on, we automatically put those in.
Oh,
So in this case, it just wasn't one of our standards yet. It is now, but
Gotcha. Anybody else have a question? Okay, this will come up on, oh,
So what is different?
what it is it's for kids that have disabilities where they're in like a wheelchair. They can go up next to a playground where all the other classmates are playing, and they can hit things, make noise, move things around, wheel around it, walk around it. They can't get around. Maybe they can't climb up the stairs and get up top, but they can do some stuff down on the ground real close to all their friends, so they're included in what's going on. It's like a turf. You can roll a wheelchair right out to it and stuff like that. Yep.
okay. I assume this will come up. Do we have to go out for bids first?
Yeah, they should go out to bid anytime. Actually, we got pricing on it already, so we should be bringing it back for action
On the
very
next
quickly.
meeting?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Superintendent's report.
we, as referenced by some of our school board members, we started going out to our schools to elicit feedback from our students. And I was able to go to Norths. I wasn't able to go to Centrals this morning, but it was absolutely fascinating once the students felt comfortable that the information just started flying. And one of our administrators today said we have to build this into every process that we have. The information that we got was very valuable, very informing. But one story I wanted to share with is that there was, between the two high schools, there's a very strong theme. That while they're competing against one another, they love their rivalries. But when they are not competing with one another, Sarah Ott has assured it's Davenport versus everybody. And that mentality came out very clear. An example of that is the All District musical. If you go to a district, like districts wrestling, other kids, when they're not wrestling each other, they will cheer each other on. And that became loud and clear. The pride that our students have for our district, and how they love coming together and competing against one another. And it was a very fascinating discussion, and also gave us some immediate actions on our programming, how our students see the information that we're trying to share with them, how they're digesting it. So it really did give us some great insight, and how that feeds back into our facilities is it really does help us choose our pathways. It helps us decide on what our next steps are in phase 2, and we're getting some very valuable information out of it. And it's I'm very proud of our kids as they're in the room. They're just amazing. So that was the theme for today.
Very cool. Thank you. Sure.
What exactly are you getting? What kinds of things are you getting feedback on?
So the problem that we're trying to solve is how are our pathways, how's portrait of a graduate and district of a distinction meeting together? How do you feel about the access you have to different programming? Do you feel like you were informed enough about what options are available to you high school, or the systems that we use? And so that we have a presentation that we are sharing with the students, and then organically it just goes wherever the kids want to take it. And there are identical themes in the two places so far, and it was excellent.
Administrative report?
None
Nope.
this time.
We're getting to you. Hold on. Board requests? Nope. Board reflections. Start with the student board.
That's my bad. But I just didn't want to forget it. But and that's what I was talking about when we started. I just forgot the name and I don't know why. But it was really really cool in the meeting, like having our district not our district leadership, our DC leadership, and our student school board reps all getting together and kind of bouncing off ideas off of each other. We came to a lot of really good conclusions, and like from what it sounds like, we're making the same conclusions. And one, I forgot who it was, but someone in there said like at their tennis meets, it's kind of just like Davenport North and West against like PV and Bettendorf, because that's the common enemy, and like we just kind of like band together against them. And I think that's really nice, like we have our rivalries, but like you said, like we respect each other still. And I was going somewhere with this. But I think that also can be reflected in like how we do like that thing where students travel to other like to different schools, like that also fosters that kind of connection and that community in the separate schools. And it also gives students like an equal opportunity to meet everybody and to take like all the classes that they want to take and that kind of stuff. That was just kind of like the bottom line from today at that meeting.
I really enjoyed learning about the renovation or the ideas for renovations at North and for the preschools. I'm a big preschool advocate. I feel like it is very like it. I've seen a lot of differences, like because I've worked with kindergartners and I've worked with preschoolers, and them having that environment and being ready to go into those next steps. I love it, and I love working with them. And I think that was my highlight of the night. I really liked hearing about all the renovations and stuff.
I would also say that I'm really excited to hear about the preschool. I think it's a really good idea to put it here. I think this is a really good spot, kind of in the heart of Davenport, putting a place of education right in the middle of everything. And I think it's really important that we show that and show Davenport schools represented to our residents in Davenport.
Thank you. Director Barnes.
The bond rating affirmation and the sale of bonds today is incredible. And everyone who played a part in that, that is just among the many signs of the strength of this school district, and something really for everybody in this community to celebrate.
Director Potts.
That money is the milk that lets us do the things we need to do for preschools, for better cafeterias in our elementaries, for additional preschool space in the elementaries. And just if you look from 100 miles up at what we have accomplished for the physical plant and equipment in this district, and thus for the ability for our teachers to teach, it is phenomenal. It is just, I pinch myself. Look at, we're pretty good. I mean, we are such a focused bunch of people. We don't bicker, we don't spat, we don't snipe. We have a common goal, and we continue to work towards it. It's wonderful.
You just got elected. You're going to be here a while. Director Poston.
Just echo the same sentiments. The bond sale was huge. Thanks to Kevin and what he's done from financial aspects. And when I walked in the building today, he was grinning from ear to ear on this bond sale. When we're talking about a projection of 81 million, and now we have 87 million to work with, that's a big deal. And Kevin has also guaranteed me that none of this will go into arbitrage.
Is he signing that? Dr. Hayes.
I can do a ditto to everything that's been said. And one thing I do like is the unity with the students in the district. That us against them mentality. We can rival against one another, but don't mess with Davenport, right? And that was kind of cute to hear that. And I think Director Potts kind of alluded to it as well. It's like not only with the students, it's kind of with us. You know, we can respectfully agree to disagree. However, we do agree on most things.
Director Beck.
I think the first thing that popped into my head was being able to honor Pat Zamora's legacy and having her family here for the actual vote, which was really nice. That means they came to the meeting 2 times and sat through a lot of sort of our boilerplate stuff. And so it was really nice to see that happen tonight. Also appointing a new board secretary. Welcome to Stacy. That is not something that happens very often, fortunately. And it's a big, you've got big shoes to fill, but I'm confident that you can do it. And then finally, of course, the money. I mean, I don't even know what half of those details mean. But I do know that as Director Potts said, the way we've been working together, we've all been rowing in the same direction for a number of years now, and being able to turn us around from unstable financial footing to now really upgrading our facilities is just incredible, and a really nice thing to be able to talk about.
Thank you. Director Yonke.
Thank you. I would say, obviously, the bonds are amazing. Great work. Definitely excited about the preschool. Thought that was great information. And then the serendipity of you mentioning Davenport versus the world. My daughter, Davenport graduate, is in pharmacy school, and earlier today we had a phone call. She's good daughter, calls every day. Called, and that mentality goes into college. One of her closest friends is a West grad. She's from North. He's a few years older than her. And they go in, and every single time they meet other pharmacy students, whatever year, they hear they're from the Quad Cities. And there is always some side eye because they are Davenport grads. And so that mentality of Davenport versus the world, that tiny bit of a chip on your shoulder was something to prove. It continues on and is occurring right now at the University of Iowa Pharmacy School as as they are studying and fighting for top marks in their class. So yeah, it's could not have come at a better time. So thank you.
Yeah, that's cool. Superintendent.
Well, that gave me goosebumps down the back of my neck. Stacy, it's been a wonderful addition to our team. I can't say enough. The bond sale is almost emotional because as we struggle to find how far can we get with the dollars we have, where are we going to pause, where this just pushes the resources closest to the students, and I couldn't be more excited.
First of all, I appreciate that we have the foresight, that you have the foresight to say, we need to get this order in on the computers and the electronics because, yeah, my husband went to get a computer and they said, yep, good luck, kind of thing. So thank you for looking into the future. The money, to see where 80 million went the first time around makes me really excited. For this next round, it's like, come on, let's get going. I mean, we have done some great things with that in the building facilities. I want to say thank you, Ivy, so much for everything you've done, and welcome aboard, Stacy. We're really a good group to work with. So, and financially, I just to look and see where we've come, that's awesome. If you were around when we weren't in such a great spot, you look at this and it's like, this is great. So thank you to everybody who had a hand in that. And with that,
So move.
thank you. Could I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.